Welfare School Council at South Geelong Primary School. My name's Adam Voigt. I'm the founder and the CEO of Real Schools. I've known Leanne for some time. We've had our paths crossed around this notion of restorative practices, and I know that your school has some sort of history with. What she's putting to you tonight is that it's time to get explicit about the use of that restorative intention to show your kids how to build and how to sustain really strong relationships such that those relationships can facilitate a high performance learning environment. And what she's putting to you is that we work together over the next 3 years to achieve that. It's something that I've been doing as a former principal for about the last 7 years now. And I've had some really fabulous success and some case study. I'm going to share that with you by the end of this video today. But what I wanted to do, I guess, is to just give you an idea of what it is that we're talking about here. What we're talking about is not just the use of restorative practices. We're talking about why you would bother to implement restorative practices. And the reason for that is that we want to build a really strong, safe, sustainable, relational school culture around your entire school community. When I speak to groups of parents, and I'll probably do this if I get the opportunity to speak to your parent community as well, is I often have a little fun and I ask them, put your hand up if you think that the culture of a school is important. And they invariably, everyone in the room puts their hand up. And then I say to people, just keep your hand up for a second, because what I want to do is to bring one of you randomly selected out to the front of the room and tell everybody what the correct definition of school culture is. You can probably imagine a lot of hands go down. We all think that school culture is important, but we haven't defined it. If we haven't defined it, how do we work on it? So what we do is establish a really clear understanding, a really clear definition for all the stakeholders in your school. That's the staff, it's the students, and it's the parent community, about what culture is. And culture is really a behavioural set. It's the behaviours that we encourage, as well as the behaviours that we tolerate. And schools that have really strong cultures aren't necessarily the ones that have no behaviours in the tolerate pile. We're talking about hundreds of young people whose brains aren't finished yet, and also the people with really irrational connections to them. That's the parents and their teachers. We're going to have some things go wrong. Schools with really great cultures are ones who have chosen their repeatable methodology for dealing with that. They know how to handle conflict. They know how to handle behaviours that come along that are the wrong behaviours, and they know how to challenge them so that they can become the right behaviours. They have a way of moving behaviours from the tolerate pile to that encourage pile. That's what restorative practices does. It gets us on the same page. A lot of people talk about getting on the same page. One of the things that impresses me about your school already is its determination to write that page and to write it not only for but in the company of their parents. So one of the things that Leanne will be very acutely aware of is that we work at Real Schools with no schools who say we want you to come along and do a PD day for our school. I don't think that's the way you address culture. We address it by working together side by side over the next few years to make sure that we're explicit about what's our plan for that. What do you get out of it? You get out of it young people who know how to cooperate, and you get young people who know how to resolve healthy conflict in a healthy way. This is hugely important because these are close to the most important skills that they will need to be something very important in the future, and that's employable and viable. And we want that for all of your kids. So we'd like to get to work on it. That's probably me talking for way too long, other than to say to you that part of that commitment to not just running a PD day for a school and running away is a commitment to the parent community. Every year that we're in partnership, we're going to be running a parent information session. We're going to be providing the glossy flyer and a video invitation to parents to get everyone there. There's very little point in everyone being on the same page if that excludes the parents. So really excited to bring all of that skill to your attention, because when we're raising our kids with the same sort of tactics and strategies at home that we're using at school, that's when we can have a really powerful impact on your young people. I'm very much looking forward to meeting you and to working with you all. And if you have any more information that you'd like to find out, please make sure you get in touch. Okay, bye for now. Watch the next video.
Real Schools has improved the community at Cannock immensely. It's provided trust between families and us, trust between us and the students, trust in our staff, in one another. It's just benefited everybody greatly, and I'm really glad that I was part of that journey.
Real Schools' journey has been absolutely awesome. So many facets that have benefited from our work with Real Schools. So we're up to our 3rd or 4th year with our journey with Adam. So the learning that's taken place has been enormous in that space.
In the last 3 years our NAPLAN results have been through the roof. So our growth in our school has been incredible, so much so that we're getting other schools asking us, what is it that's happening down there for you to achieve the results you're getting?
Over a 3-year journey, we want to improve the satisfaction level of all 3 stakeholder groups, and we've done that at Cannock. The teachers are more engaged, and even retention of staff has been a real positive at Cannock Primary School. The students, in terms of their social outcomes, as well as what they feel about the school and the climate of the school, should increase, and it has. And also the parents should feel more connected to the school.
You walk around the classrooms, you don't hear any teachers yelling, you don't hear any kids yelling. One of my daughters describes one of the teachers' classroom as having Zen qualities. Now, I've got no idea where she learnt about Zen, but it accurately describes that particular teacher. You know, he never raises his voice. He doesn't have to. To me, that's fantastic.
I had a 1, 2, 3 class this year. Lots of different age groups in that and abilities. But I must say it's probably one of the nicest classes I've had socially, because these children have grown up with restorative practices at school. They know nothing different. And I think that has, for me, been the icing on the cake.
It's given us a framework to work in. All teachers know that system, and probably more importantly, the kids know the system. A simple system, I think, but it just works.
The children are probably getting more involved in their feelings, and they know that a teacher's there to support them.
The kids are more open to discuss their problems. Kids that you wouldn't think would do that are doing that now. So that's been really positive.
These are now kids who don't step into unhealthy conflict, they step into healthy conflict resolution. They care, they think about their behaviour before they do it, and if they screw up, they know how to fix it up, and they do it in meaningful and productive ways. And it builds young people who are creative, it builds young people who have a moral compass and who know how to listen to their conscience. It's really cool to watch.
The Real Schools Partnership is a commitment that the school makes between ourselves and Real Schools. Initially there was a series of PD sessions with staff, but where the difference comes into it is that Adam has also come in and worked with staff in the classrooms. So he's either mentored or he's taken sessions, and he's been the person that they can then learn from with him taking the session, or he's sat in the background and said, you know, next time you can do this or you can do that. It's
great having the online resources there. If there's something we're not sure about or we want to get better at, like our little mini circles or check-ins, there's the videos of Adam.
The other component is that we've run parent sessions to try and educate them on the process and to bring them up to speed with what we're trying to do as a school through our partnership.
It was great to be invited to the parent sessions. Adam's so approachable. He's been a teacher, he's been a principal, he knows what works, he knows what doesn't work.
I partner with schools because it lights me up to see them get the full benefit of partnership and the full benefit of being able to focus on culture. Whenever I ask school leaders, do they think school culture is important, they put their hand up. When I ask them what it is, they get nervous. So we're not exactly sure how to define it, and if we're not exactly sure how to define it, how do we work on it? So what we provide is a vehicle for schools to be able to work on the most important part of their work, which is creating a culture where young people thrive, where teachers thrive, and where parents support you in what you're looking to try and get done. When that happens, I couldn't think of a better job on the planet to be doing.
Cannock for me is a family, a community. It's a place where I put my heart and soul into. I've always come in and done that bit extra because the teachers are putting all their effort and energy into our kids. I'm happy to put energy into the school to make it a great place for the kids and the parents and the teachers, to make it an all-round great place to go. So send your kids here.